just like passing the bush. seated. Good evening. On behalf of Santa Monica College, I would like to welcome all of you to this year's commencement exercise, an event in which we take the greatest pride. I want to extend a special welcome to the parents, loved ones, and friends of the graduating class of 2017. I am Dr. Catherine Jeffrey, the Superintendent President of Santa Monica College, the #1 community college in the country. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I also want to welcome the worldwide audience watching today's ceremony on our live webcast. You might have noticed all of the flags behind the stage. The flags in this field represent the wonderful display that showcases our college's diversity. We have flags representing 139 nations, all the countries of origin of our students. I'd like for you to join me in observing one flag in particular, the flag of the United States of America. And I'd like to ask our student trustee, Chase Matthews, to please lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag and the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce the individual trustees of the board of the Santa Monica Community College District. Please hold your applause until all names have been read, and will the trustees please remain standing until all of you have been introduced. The chair of the board, the Honorable Dr. Andrew Walzer. The vice chair of the board, the Honorable Mr. Barry Snell. The Honorable Nancy Greenstein. The Honorable Dr. Nancy Greenstein. The Honorable Dr. Louise Jaffe. The Honorable Dr. Margaret Quinones Perez. The Honorable Dr. Susan Amanoff. And the Honorable Rob Rader, who will be joining us. Student trustee, newly elected, Chase Matthews. Thank you. Chair Walzer, would you please offer remarks on behalf of the board?
Welcome and congratulations, graduates. In reflecting upon this occasion, I thought back to my own college journey. And when I was a student, I entered into college straight out of high school and felt pretty lost. I randomly chose classes and didn't have any plan or direction. I didn't have a goal and I didn't know who I was. I dropped out twice before I found a sense of meaning and purpose in college. There was one professor that ignited the spark within me and taught me about the value of an education and the life of the mind. I realized that I could make a difference in the world, that I could make decisions that would help shape my life and the lives of those around me for the better. Aside from serving as a trustee, I also teach humanities at a community college. And in my classes, I have my students write their autobiography. I teach them that everybody has a story to tell about who they are and what has shaped them. My students often write about their own struggles to overcome obstacles and hardship in achieving an education. One of my students, I'm going to call him Sam, got involved with drugs in high school. He became addicted to meth and then to heroin. He became homeless and would steal anything around him to get his next fix. He racked up 2 felonies, but he was able to turn his life around, get into school, and get an education. Another of my students, who I refer to as Sam, was an immigrant from Haiti, and when he entered into school in the United States, he was beaten up because of his race. He then got involved in gangs out of self-defense, but managed to escape by enlisting in the service. He was then able to go back to school. Many of my students struggle with high rent and low wages and work to keep their families afloat. Some of my students are raising kids, going to school, and working all at the same time. I'm impressed by these stories of courage and perseverance, by your stories of courage and determination and perseverance. In the face of hardship, distraction, and the many obstacles you're facing in your goals of achieving your dreams, you have stayed focused and disciplined, skills that will benefit you throughout your life. You have learned to stand up for what you believe and for what you deserve. When you get knocked down, you get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. As you get ready to graduate and to celebrate this milestone in your life, you too can honor and celebrate the fact that you have made choices that you've taken to determine your future. As I look back on my own life journey, I'm saddened by the fact that much of what I've worked for in my life, including social justice, sustainability, and commitment to honoring diversity and embracing a global community, has been repudiated by our current national leadership. And yet I've learned from my students and from you, graduates of Santa Monica College, that you don't give up, that you don't let the actions of others discourage or distract you. In the face of hardship, you keep on pursuing your goals and keep on creating the world that you want to live in. That our values of diversity and sustainability and social justice are worth fighting for, no matter what our current national leaders say or do. So I want to commend you. On your hope and your determination and your striving, and may it inspire us all to work to achieve greater things in this world. Thank you for inspiring me.
Thank you, Chair Walzer. Graduates, how many of you know that this ceremony is being webcast live? That's right. Any of your family members and friends who could not be here today can see this happening right now in real time. Last year, we had nearly 4,000 family members and friends from around the world live stream our SMC commencement program. We're hoping for an even greater number this year. I know that you're on your phones anyway, so text and WeChat your friends and families that they can watch and watch you get your diploma right now by going to our SMC website, www.smc.edu. You can also find it on the alumni webpage at alumni.smu.edu. So speaking of alumni, that is what all of you are about to become. We know that you're all moving on to exciting new chapters in your lives, but we don't want you to forget us. Your relationship with SMC doesn't end here. You are and always will be a part of the SMC family. The best way for you to keep in touch with us and for us to keep in touch with you is through our Alumni Association. After graduation, you'll be able to see on the alumni website a time lapse of today's entire ceremony and a mashup of all of your graduates, and you'll be able to pose in front of the media wall. We want you to stay in touch and look forward to celebrating your future accomplishments. And I want now to acknowledge those who have mentored, taught, counseled, and guided you. Will the faculty and staff of the Santa Monica College please stand up and join me in giving a round of applause to this group of individuals. These are people who've played a major role in your achievement today. And as I walked on campus this morning, I even saw some students looking like they were still in the class taking that last final exam. Let's not forget your family and friends. Graduates, please stand up, face the audience, and give them a round of applause to thank them for their support, sacrifice, and encouragement. A lot of enthusiasm. That's the way it should be. It's now my privilege to introduce the remaining members of the platform party and our special guests. Please hold your applause until all are introduced. Teresita Rodriguez, Vice President for Enrollment Development. Our commencement speaker, Frank Stiefel, film producer and director and supporter of Santa Monica College. He will be formally introduced later in the program. Frank, please stand. Ms. Fran Chandler, President of the Academic Senate. Mr. Chase Matthews, Student Trustee for 2017-18. Mr. John Abagadas, your fellow graduate who will deliver the Student Challenge. I would also like to acknowledge members of the SMC Foundation in our audience, and I'll ask them to stand as well where they are. And I'd like to acknowledge all of our college employees who have worked for many months to prepare for this celebration. Employees other than the faculty who've been introduced, please stand where you are. Thank you so much. You may be seated. The Faculty Challenge will be presented by the President of the Santa Monica College Academic Senate, Ms. Fran Chandler.
I am here to issue a challenge to you on behalf of the more than 1,300 faculty of Santa Monica College. You have done the student thing. Now we want you to come back to us as teachers. Like the mantra you've heard for so long, proud to be SMC, we are proud to teach SMC, and we personally invite you to join us in the future. First, though, go out there, finish your bachelor's and your master's degrees. Get some practical experience, work a while, start your own company, not necessarily in that order. Then come back to us and teach what you've learned. There's an old Chinese proverb, and I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but there are never any new ones. But one of the old ones says, if you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help someone else. Knowing how much value teachers place on helpfulness, I ask your professors why they teach or counsel. What makes them happy to come to work every day? Well, I don't think it's going to be any surprise to you that not one of them told me that grading papers and exams was what makes them happy. But here's a compilation of the types of things your faculty had to say about what they enjoy most about working with you. Here's what one said: I teach for moments like when the clumsiest person in the class floated across the stage like a feather. For that moment when one team member who didn't seem to care about anything ran the track like a cheetah after its dinner. For times like when a barely passing student yelled out, I know, ran to the front of the room to complete a math equation on the board, and then turned with a smile from ear to ear to face her classmates. And one person said, I teach for the pride I felt when a former student called to tell me that the business he started just brought in its first big contract, and he wanted to thank me for teaching him how to do it. Another said, I love teaching history and government and seeing students realize for the first time how important it is that they proactively guard their freedoms and liberty by never trading them for a little temporary safety. One said, a teacher made me believe in myself, made me like myself, showed me that being different could be just the thing that would make me a success. I teach to return the favor. One said, it's not just about happy endings with students passing my classes with good grades. It's also about happy beginnings. Each new semester brings new hope and new opportunities and the chance to try creative, engaging learning strategies. Some spoke of never being bored, of their gratitude for working with colleagues who bring joyous energy to everything they do. It's about learning with my students through study abroad opportunities. It's about working side by side with them in the field or in the hospitals. It's about helping students become financially literate so that they don't impoverish themselves and their families getting through college. Many faculty spoke of the responsibility they feel to members of their own race, ethnicity, gender, or sexual orientation. They spoke of being positive role models of success and happiness. One said that looking at all the relevant issues of the day from many different perspectives, teaching students to put themselves into the shoes of people on all sides, to come up with practical yet creative solutions, and more importantly, to stand up and argue confidently, honestly, calmly, and rationally for those solutions. One said, people talk all the time about the injustice of economic inequality. I have the privilege of working on that problem from the front end. I teach skills and knowledge that students need to better themselves. I show them that in this merit-based society, they can get ahead by choosing a satisfying career that is in high demand, working hard to achieve excellence, never giving up, picking themselves up when they fail, eventually attaining a lifestyle that truly embodies the American dream. One said, I love seeing the light bulb go on. I live for the moment when self-doubt falls aside. We teach them not only to challenge, to question, to experiment, to take calculated risks, to think for themselves, but also to bring people together, and we lead by example. And my own contribution to the list. I teach, but I also learn from my students. I think every single day of the middle-aged woman who told the entire class how grateful she is to live in a country where she can finally attend school without fear of being killed for doing so. There is no profession that contributes more to our society than education. You've probably seen bumper stickers that say, "I teach, I touch the future." To us, that knowledge brings a profound sense of responsibility, not just to you students and to society in general, but to all those wonderful people out there who came to see you shine tonight. I hope that, like me, someday you will stand at the sunset of your teaching career and look back with pride, knowing that you have left a legacy of graduates who are working to make the world a more just and prosperous place. Your SMC professors look forward to the future, all because of you. And that is why we challenge you to join us so that you too can be proud to teach SMC. Congratulations, class of 2017. This night belongs to you.
In case you didn't hear that, Mom, you're loved. It is my pleasure to introduce an outstanding student and graduate who will present the Student Challenge. While I don't want to give too much away, as we'll have the privilege of hearing his story directly from him, I have just one or two things I want to say about John. At the age of 14, John Abagadas became severely ill, and he would struggle with chronic pain that set him apart from others. But John refused to give up and eventually came to SMC, where he majored in philosophy and also became an active part of campus life. As president of the SMC Philosophy Club, he's been very, very involved. I encourage you to read John's bio, which is in your program. He has been accepted into UCLA, UC Berkeley, and Columbia University. He's currently in the process of deciding which place to choose. Graduates, today, John is with us, receiving an associate degree in general science, and it is my pleasure to welcome John Abagadas to the podium to deliver the Student Challenge.
Before I begin, I'd like to set the record straight. This fall, I have the pride of being a Bruin. President Jeffrey, Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, my fellow graduates, Mama Ubaba. I am going to live a life full of naive optimism, and I only hope that you choose to do the same. We have been given one life and full control over what to do with it, so why settle for the mundane? Those of us here today have chosen to dedicate many years of our lives to education. But I believe it is crucial that we stop and ask ourselves, what is this education for? I believe its purpose is twofold. One, to prepare us to be remarkable people, and two, to enable us to be ready to go out into the world and help the less privileged become remarkable in their own right. First, we should strive to be great. It was one of my favorite philosophers, Aristotle, who said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." I learned that firsthand when I was 14 years old, and I became diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, a chronic autoimmune disease of the colon. I could no longer go to school, and I spent all of high school on home study. The educational standards were rock bottom. The school wasn't concerned with making sure I got a good education. They were more concerned with making sure they passed me on, gave me a diploma, and that I was no longer their problem. I had to take my education into my own hands, or I would have become a victim of an educational system that failed to accommodate highly driven disabled students. The assumption that too many people make is that disabled means incapable. That is not true. It was not, it is not, and it never will be good enough for me. My challenge to all of you is that no matter where you are going next, no matter what your circumstances, strive to be excellent. The people we want to be like, the role models, are the ones who recognize that good enough is never good enough, that complacency and mediocrity will rob us of all the young passion we have within us. Inside of you might be the world's greatest flute player, a gold medalist wrestler, a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet, or a biochemist with a cure for cancer, and you just have to let that person out of you. But once you have drunk up the sea and unchained the earth from the sun, I beg of you to not forget of the people who were not so lucky to be sitting here today. Lady Liberty reminds us that we have a duty to the tired, to the poor, to the huddled masses yearning to breathe freely. Whether those masses be our neighbors or strangers, I believe it is an imperative that we recognize the value in their humanity and lift them up so they can stand with us. One month ago in Portland, Oregon, 3 men by the names of Taliesin Murden Namkai Mechi, Ricky John Best, and Mika David Cole Fletcher stepped in to prevent another man from harassing a teenage girl for being Muslim. Their moral conscience told them in that moment that they had to stand up for justice in the name of a stranger. And that is exactly what they did. I speak their names today because they are heroes, and they possess a certain excellence in their character that we should all strive to one day meet. Like many of my fellow graduates, I don't know exactly where this life of mine will lead me. But there's one thing I do know, that no matter where I may find myself, I could find no greater a life or one more noble than one lived in the service of others. I ask you to make your education worth something more than just your own personal benefit. Turn to the needs of your brothers and sisters. These are the values I learned here at SMC, where in my philosophy classes with Professor Catherine, she forced me to do a value clarification exercise, where I looked at what really is important and what is valuable in life. It is here where I learned about excellence in my independent study with Professor Paul Klumpy, where he pushed me to succeed at a level not typically offered at the lower division. It is here where I learned about the importance of diversity, where for the first time in 15 years, I had a professor who looked like me. That's what I got here from SMC, and that's what I'll take with me. And so here we are at the beginning of it all. Affirm all that life has to offer. Go out and make your life a work of art. Do something profound. Do something worth writing about. Make people remember you after gone. Get your name in a textbook. Come right back here and be a professor to pass it all on to other people. Volunteer. Reach out. Support and enrich the lives of those around you. Embrace the absurdity of it all while you still can. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for that inspiring speech. I was very touched by what you shared, John. Thank you. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, as we wish for all of our graduates today. We're going to hear from another inspiring individual, and I am absolutely thrilled to introduce our 2017 commencement speaker, Frank Stiefel. Frank has enjoyed a prolific career as a producer and director, and you can read all about his accomplishments in your program. Here are a few of the highlights of Frank Stiefel's career. He has served on both the East and West Coast boards of the Association of Independent Commercial Producers. He is the only person to be elected twice to serve as the organization's national president. Stifel is also a two-time past chairman of the AICP show at the Museum of Modern Art, and in 2002, he merged Stifel and Company, the company he founded at the age of 19, with the international production company Radical Media. Stifel continued as executive producer and also produced a number of advertising-sponsored television programs. And in 2009, Frank left Radical Media to direct a documentary based on his mother's life. Ingalore was honored by the International Documentary Association and the Museum of Modern Art. The film also appeared in 30 international film festivals and was acquired by HBO. In 2016, Frank completed a documentary named Heaven is a Traffic Jam on the 405. That's some title, isn't it? This documentary is based on the life of artist Mindy Alper, and the documentary film premiered at the Broad Stage at the Santa Monica College Performing Arts Center and has gone on to a very successful festival run. And in April, Heaven is a Traffic Jam on the 405 became the only film to ever win both the Audience and Critics Prize at the prestigious Full Frame Documentary Festival. Frank has actively given to Santa Monica College students, and served on the Santa Monica College Foundation Board from 1998 to 2016, and he was president for 6 years. And I mentioned Heaven is a Traffic Jam on the 405, and I mentioned that the person that the film is about is Mindy Alper, and Mindy is with us today. So Mindy, would you please just stand where you are? Mindy's amazing. Thank you for being here. Frank's wife is here too, BJ Stand. He brought his family. I love it. He's like the Graduates. He brought his family. That's great. So Frank, would you please come forward and join me here at the podium and deliver your message and your words of wisdom to our students.
Thank you. Dr. Jeffrey, Dr. Walzer, Mr. Snell, Dr. Amanoff, Dr. Greenstein, Dr. Jaffe, Dr. Quinones-Perez, Mr. Rader, Mr. Matthews, faculty, staff, graduates, and guests. This year, Hillary Clinton gave the commencement speech at Wellesley College. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, gave his speech at MIT. Oprah Winfrey double-dipped at Smith and Skidmore. Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook spoke at Harvard. USC had both Will Ferrell and Deepak Chopra. And a bit later this week, UC San Diego will be addressed by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. You, the 2017 graduating class of Santa Monica College, somehow got me. I have no idea what you did to deserve this, but it must have been bad. When I was asked to do this, my assumption was that everyone on the globe that had ever done anything notable was busy tonight. But Dr. Jeffrey explained, no, you get who we are, and I do. I'm the son of deaf immigrants, people who came to this country and never heard the English language, and we were poor. I went to the City College of New York, which is the much uglier version of this place. And I was an evening division student. The more relevant part of my biography is that I was on the Santa Monica College Foundation Board for 18 years. Last Saturday, the SMC Foundation handed out $700,000 in scholarships. We also fund grants of excellence to professors who want to push the boundaries of what's possible. We support the SMC Veterans Center, the Emeritus College. We send students who are interested in public policy to Washington, D.C. for the summer. And we support a host of other programs. The reason I joined, and certainly the reason I stayed for so long, is that I know that lives can be altered by opportunity. Opportunity sometimes has a price tag, and that price is inexpensive for some and impossibly expensive for others. The foundation provides that opportunity. There are thousands of success stories of people who might have been lost were it not for the support given by the foundation and its contributors, many of whom are actually in this stadium right tonight. Please join me in thanking them for their support. Can I get a $700,000 thank you? Thank you. The often asked question, what are you going to do when you get out of school, assumes that you know every job that's available in the world, that you're never going to change your mind, and that you have much more control over your career than you actually do. For the next few minutes, I want to shift that question to an area where you can control. And I want to shift the question to, who are you going to be? So I noticed at the beginning of my career that if you graphed my professional life and my emotional life, it was the same line. I was not a very complicated being. If business were good, I was happy. If it wasn't good, I wasn't. I knew that was dangerous. And I also knew I could never dial down the intensity that I had for work. So my plan was to add to my life, to put things in my life that were going to be hard, things that I could learn, make my life bigger. And in the course of that, work would become a piece rather than a whole. Over the years, I became a husband and a father, an officer in a host of industry groups. I joined this foundation board. I was a basketball coach. I trained to run marathons and ride centuries. I took an art class. I taught night school. I shot a portrait series that took me 5 years. I made films. I learned to cook. And it was through all of those extracurriculars that had nothing to do with work that I actually shaped who I am. Here's how I learned to cook. It's important to note that by the time I was 30, I was completely phobic on the subject of cooking. This was something that I was never, ever going to get. I would walk into a kitchen, my hands would go into my pockets, my eyes would get glassy, I would turn around and leave. It was just, recipes to me looked like very complex science experiments that were written in a foreign language, not a foreign language, Esperanto. So one day I got tired of either being the guy that always washed every dish at every house, because that was the contribution I could make, or I got tired of this thing that was so big and so looming over me. And I invited people over, and I decided to make a meal. So it was going to be something easy, and it was a pasta with pesto sauce. So this is not brain surgery. For the uninitiated, you take a blender, you put basil, olive oil, pine nuts, Parmesan cheese. You push the button, you wait. 2 minutes later, you have pesto sauce. Now, the first thing I noticed was, I've cooked with you. So the first thing I noticed was that instead of the predicted green color, it was black. Probably the result of too many basil leaves and too little olive oil. The next thing was that I noticed that this black viscous-like stuff was not at the bottom of the blender, it was sticking to the perimeter of it. And so what I did was I got a wooden spoon and I started shoving this stuff off of the blender sides down toward the blades. And the next thing I noticed was that the blade had taken the last ½ inch of wood off the wooden spoon, which was now inside the thing, becoming smaller and smaller. I served it anyway. And I called it black pesto. Pesto Nero. If it's going to be bad, you got to have some attitude. Pesto Nero. The next meal was better, and eventually the food started to come out in its proper color without the taste of kitchen utensils. And I began inviting larger and larger groups of friends to eat more and more complicated meals. A few years later, I ran the New York Marathon. There were 38,000 runners that day. About 40 of them thought they might win. The rest of us were out to prove something to ourselves. The first time I ran, I probably went about 20 minutes before I thought my lungs would explode. And had you told me on that day that I'd be running a 26-mile race, I'd say you were crazy. But here I was amongst thousands of strangers from 100 countries, and we were all trying to be that little engine that could. And as I looked at the runners around me, certainly the runners that were in the back with me, it was clear that these weren't natural athletes. But if you panned up and you looked at their faces, you knew that there was nothing that you could do to keep these people from running through the finish line. And the amazing statistic about marathons is when you look at the percentage of people that finish, that began the race, that number is in excess of 99%. Now, there is nothing remarkable about cooking a meal or running a race. What is life-changing is when you find yourself doing the very thing you thought was impossible. The first time you shut down that demon voice that says, you can't do this, your life is different. You start to look at what else you've dismissed as impossible, and you become more comfortable in challenging those beliefs, and one day you find yourself with a voice that's clearer, standing a bit straighter, having a life you never thought you could have. Everything on that list of extracurriculars that I read a minute ago had some degree of fear attached to it. But once you're in the game of having the fear rather than the fear having you, the no I can't demon gets quieter and quieter, and every time you surprise yourself by doing the impossible, you're developing the yes I can muscle and making it stronger and stronger. The one thing that I know that you don't know is how much bigger your life can be, how much bigger a game you can play. The way you shut down that monster that says you can't do something is by doing that something. It's not easy, it's not comfortable, it will humble you at the beginning. But there is nothing more freeing than knowing that you have the loudest voice in determining who you are. A month ago, BJ and I were flying back from a film festival where, for the first time in its history, they gave the two top prizes to the same film. It was my film. And I was thinking about, thank you. And I was thinking about this strange turn that my life took. I made a choice at the age of 62 to leave the stability of a long and successful career to become a documentary director, a beginning documentary director. And I wondered where that decision came from. What was its genesis? Where were the earliest signs that this might work out? And I started to flip the pages of my life back. And the answer, of course, was a choice that I made half a lifetime ago. A moment where I saw myself differently, a moment that changed everything that followed. The answer for me was in the ugliest meal I ever served. The answer for me was that bowl of pesto Nero. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Frank Stifel. I'd like now to invite Terrence Ware to present the commencement gift to our commencement speaker. Oh, there he is. Terrence. Thank you, Frank. This is just a small token of our appreciation for your being with us today and sharing your story of trial and your story of triumph. So on behalf of Santa Monica College, I thank the student body president, Terrence Ware, for participating in the awarding of the gift. Thank you, Terrence. And it is my pleasure to introduce Teresita Rodriguez, our Vice President of Enrollment Development, who has some special announcements.
Thank you, Dr. Jeffrey. I want to make some brief announcements about the graduates this year. This year marks our second largest graduating class in SMC's history. 3,753 students are receiving 4,427 degrees and certificates of achievement. 624 of you are receiving 2 degrees. You will notice that many of our graduating students are wearing a stole, sash, or cord. A student wearing a light blue sash is graduating with honors with a GPA of 3.0 to 3.69. A student wearing a silver sash is graduating with high honors with a GPA of 3.7 to 3.99. A student wearing a gold sash is graduating with highest honors with a 4.0 GPA. A student wearing a white robe is graduating with a nursing degree. A student wearing a blue stole served as a president's ambassador. A student wearing a gold cord and a gold honor sash is a member of Alpha Gamma Sigma Honor Society. A student wearing a gold cord and gold and blue sash is a member of the Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society. A student wearing a stole lined in the kente cloth is a participant of the Black Collegians program. A student wearing the colorful Latino stole is a participant of the Adelante program. A student wearing a red stole is a participant of the EOPS CARE program. A student wearing a purple sash with blue trim and gold lettering is a participant of the Guardian Scholars program. A student wearing a stole with the Associated Student logo held a leadership role in student government. And lastly, a student wearing a friendship lapel pin with the American flag and a foreign flag is an international student. As we prepare to call the students to the stage to be recognized, so that we do not detract from this occasion, we request that you do not use air horns. Also, please do not photograph the graduates from the field. There is a designated photography area in the center of the bleachers, and a professional photographer will photograph each graduate as he or she accepts their diploma cover. Graduates have been advised on how to order their photographs. There will also be professional photographers available after the ceremony on the field to take professional family photos, which can then be ordered. We ask that all guests remain in their seats until all graduates have been announced and the recessional has exited the stadium. Immediately following the ceremony, all graduates and guests are invited to join us for refreshments at the alumni reception in the quad, right behind here. Please exit through the north gates and cross the parking structure and proceed east towards the quad. Our special thanks to the SMC Foundation, the SMC Associated Students, and the SMC Alumni Association for sponsoring the reception. And graduates, congratulations, and we wish you all the best in whatever future path you take.
Thank you, Vice President Rodriguez. I will now recognize the Honorable Dr. Andrew Walzer, Chair of the Santa Monica Community College District Board of Trustees, for the formal conferring of degrees.
Will the graduates please stand? President Jeffrey, on behalf of the faculty, will you certify to the trustees of the Santa Monica Community College District that each of these candidates has fulfilled all the requirements of the college and is worthy of the associate degree or certificate of achievement?
Chair Walzer, I do so certify.
Please be seated.
Okay, we're almost there. Tonight, I'm going to attempt to do something in honor of the students who have given me these sashes. So, this is the sash for Adelante. I'm just gonna put them all on at once. This is the sash for Black Collegians. And this is the sash for our students who've been part of the Brother to Brother and Sister to Sister program with John Adams Middle School. Okay. The names of the graduates will be read by faculty members Eve Adler, Nate Donahue, Greg Brookins, and Jason Beardsley. Marshals, please direct the graduates to the presentation of the diplomas.
It is my honor and pleasure to call forward the graduating students of the class of 2017.
John Abugahatas.
Tamara Betsy Mbuka.
Terrence Chavez Ware Jr.
Sarita Kai Barnes.
Yachel Asher Goldberg.
Roberto Mota.
Julio Mendez.
Rachel Ann Yura.
Robert Amaya. Aline Hitchke, Liberal Arts.
I Kuranaka.
Shaheen Raja, General Science, Business Administration.
Yasuho Kadono, Business Administration Professional.
Alejandro Landon, Film Studies.
Ava Meyer Cording, Communication Studies.
Samantha Gomez, Film Production, Film Studies.
Sean Jabari Benson, Liberal Arts.
Megan Marie McClellan, Liberal Arts.
Fabrice Ulrich Otuge Mbese, Business Administration.
Lisette Koka, Medical Administration Assistant.
Rocky Hani Zaidan, Business Administration.
Lauren Mitchell, okay, Communication Studies.
John Alva, Public Policy and Political Science.
Nancy Fernanda Rivera Gomez, Dance.
Paul Edward Jewell, Recycling and Resource Management.
Adriana Melissa Romero Velasquez, Geography.
Marco Tulio Garcia, Liberal Arts and General Science.
Tabitha Lynn Bond, Liberal Arts.
Kyle Brooke Tolkien, Photography.
Erica Montez Torres, Liberal Arts.
Iva Gandhi, Photography.
Oriana Francesca Mota, Business Administration Professional, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Emily Sabina Ajestal, Liberal Arts and Photography.
Stephanie Triska, Liberal Arts.
Mariana Ivette Morgan, Photography.
Clara Maria do Prado Suska, Liberal Arts.
Nolan Murakami, Liberal Arts.
Bruna Nakashima, Broadcast Programming and Production.
Jose Maria Vega Hernandez, Solar Photovoltaic Installation.
Jocelyn Contreras, Liberal Arts, I get it.
Lance James Blair, Business Administration.
Savannah Jo Swan, Liberal Arts.
Simone Laurora, Theater Arts.
Dalaram Ruhi, Liberal Arts.
Javen Colon, Theater Arts.
Armin Balipur Khaledi, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Alexander Komarov, Theater Arts.
Roxanne Pauline Majidis, Liberal Arts, Political Science.
Joellen Doherty, Theater Arts, Liberal Arts, and Technical Theater.
Human Hushanian, Liberal Arts, History.
Leanne Ashley Boot, Technical Theater.
Negin Hushanian, Liberal Arts.
Cyrus Trin, Theater Arts.
Samantha Grant, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Luca de la Maddalena, Business Administration.
Desiree Davis, Liberal Arts.
Jasmine Melody Martignon, Liberal Arts.
Rabiel Rizwan, Business Administration.
Emirani Vargas, Liberal Arts.
Vega Carlson, Business Administration Professional.
Kira Lynn Dunphy, Business Administration.
Pindo Ninyondi, Film Production.
Lisa N. Monroe, liberal arts.
Jean Paul Guzman Sr., early childhood education career.
Katian Alexandra Garcia, film studies.
Mia Duncans, photography.
Lisbeth Garcia, liberal arts.
Sandra Kibbe, photography.
Amber Abdullah, fashion merchandising.
Daisy Cobina de Cortez, photography.
Kylie Arei Aga, liberal arts.
Sue An, liberal arts, general science.
Carolina Aquino, liberal arts.
Diane Escobar, business administration.
John A. Hanna, liberal arts, social and behavioral science.
David Antonio DeMarcos, business administration.
Hu Yun An, music.
Christian Anthony Garcia, communication studies.
Evelyn Escobar Gramajo, liberal arts and general science.
Sarah Lucille Empastaro, communication studies.
Vanessa Janeth Cruz, liberal arts.
Stephanie Zimmerman, communication studies.
Crystal Andrea Arenas, liberal arts and general science.
Elizabeth Arce, liberal arts.
Sharon Knott, liberal arts.
Juanita Davies, liberal arts.
Alejandra Renteria, accounting.
Isabel Castillo, communication studies, liberal arts.
Hector Perez Aguilar, liberal arts.
Genesis Flores, early childhood communication.
Sujin Lee, political science.
Kaylin Solano, liberal arts.
Anel Bembela, accounting, public policy.
Gardenia Granados, liberal arts.
Diane Catherine Porras, communication studies.
Blanca Escareno, general science.
Hannah Wallen, business administration.
Fatima Hasarakbi Hernandez, general science, liberal arts.
Sophia Daniela Lind, merchandising.
Marisa Martinez, accounting.
Isabella Laderby, business management leadership.
Joe Guglielmo, associate science, sales and promotion.
Frida Marie Filmberg, marketing.
Monica Gonzalez, fashion merchandising.
Beza Sahin, music.
Kenta Tanaka, fashion design.
Jirli Delaney Lucena, CSU General Education.
Jacqueline Galvez, fashion merchandising, Agetsi CSGE.
Sherelle Wilson, broadcast programming and production and business management.
Ayaka Taki, fashion design.
Yunfan Chan, liberal arts.
Nikia Michelle Dawn Sipes, fashion design, fashion merchandising.
Lee Deng, business administration professional.
Nozomi Nakahazu, fashion design.
Minoru Nishihara, computer business applications.
Jacqueline Engelberg, fashion design, fashion merchandising.
Cheyenne Morrill, environmental studies.
Natalie Ridley, fashion merchandising.
Anastasia Mikeko, liberal arts and general silence.
Sophia Garmash, fashion design.
Janeth Carmelita Rios, liberal arts and public policy.
Alejandro Nunez, public policy, political science.
Angel Gilberto Lopez Jr., Liberal Arts and Public Policy.
Sophia Katrina Wood, Art History.
Yuta Lila, Liberal Arts.
James Jin Kim, Liberal Arts.
Melissa Alexandra Rios, Liberal Arts.
Jacob Jesse Garcia, General Science.
Eric William Nissen, Liberal Arts.
Nolan Gabriel Mendoza, General Science.
Needy Simpson, CSUGE.
Kimberly Beltran, Communication Studies.
Bridget Mbula, General Science and Liberal Arts.
Osiris Seri Scott Bouquet, Liberal Arts.
Pedje Dizon, Arts.
Sean Arthur, Studio Arts.
Aaron Enrique Gonzalez Zamora, Liberal Arts.
Aaron Ford, Communication Studies.
Anna Karen Garcia Vasquez, Liberal Arts.
Gossier Ogini, Studio Arts.
Tanisha Delton, Business Administration.
Barbara Agostino Vescani, Liberal Arts.
Fredis Ernesto Bonilla, Technical Theater.
Carlos Davis Valdez, Graphic Design.
Wenkai Chang, Business Administration Professional.
Emmanuel Galvez, Studio Arts.
Yuli Jiang, Economics.
Samuel Reyes, Business Administration, Liberal Arts.
Yu Cheng Lian, Communication Studies.
Nikki Hughes, Early Childhood Education Career.
Edward Su Incha, Igetsi.
Damian Lloyd Regalado, Fashion Merchandising.
Jocelyn Verdugo, General Science.
Jasmine Denise Graham, Liberal Arts.
Olga Ruiz, Liberal Arts.
Tamia Imani McKay, Fashion Merchandising.
Stephen Netflix, Liberal Arts.
Sydney Sakai Ramos, Communication Studies.
Ukesha Edmondson, Business.
Krista Lee Hemphill, General Science.
Anas Khalid Al-Zahrani, Political Science and Public Policy.
Camilo Cial Jr., Communication Studies, Liberal Arts.
Imelda Socedo, Liberal Arts.
Shiyu Liu, Business Administration, CSUGE.
Mercy Idania Fuentes Melendez, Liberal Arts.
Ying Song, Accounting.
Farnaz Faritehrani, Graphic Design Certificate.
Karen Rebecca Solomon, Early Childhood Education Career.
Omi Kubota, Graphic Design.
Mishan Dine Romaine, Liberal Arts.
Elan Davenport, Political Science and Public Policy.
Caroline Beckett, Graphic Design.
Yesenia Rodriguez, Business Administration.
Olivia Marie Cobain, General Science.
Jessica Milara, Liberal Arts.
Patricia Sampaio Pereira, Fashion Merchandising.
Kaylee Noel Trangelo, General Science.
Eureka Shamashita, Dance.
Elizabeth Cardona, Liberal Arts.
Elena Elizabeth Hernandez, Early Childhood Education Career.
Thierry Frank Tanier, Logistics.
Valerie Isabella Hernandez, Early Childhood Education Career, Early Childhood Intervention Teacher.
Marlene Mora, Communication Studies.
Olivia Victoria Reason, Early Childhood Education Career.
Perla Maria Romo, Liberal Arts.
Elham Sajadi, Early Childhood Education Career.
Dina Ramli, Communication Studies, CSUGE.
Destiny Aliyah Raybon, Liberal Arts.
Margarita Hernandez, Liberal Arts and Film Studies.
Sarah Caitlin Bellis, Early Childhood Education.
Shelby Christina Whitaker, Business Merchandising.
Jeanette Gonzalez, Early Childhood Education Career.
Timaj Khalifa, Liberal Arts.
Diane Velasquez, Early Childhood Education.
Roshanek Hogugi, General Science.
Lizbeth Garcia Sanchez, Early Childhood Education.
Myra Odalise Mendoza, Studio Arts, Art and Liberal Arts.
Leslie Michelle Lozano, Early Childhood Education.
Kevin Luis Lopez, Business Administration.
Robin J. Pelayo, Studio Art.
Kevin Maurizio Perez, Communication Studies.
Armin Sardipour, Economics.
Edward Vladimir Avalos, Animation.
William Hamilton Bowen, Film Studies.
Yvonne Rebolo, Early Childhood Education.
Ali Mohammed El Shea, Business Administration Professional, Accounting, Computer Science, Business Application.
Karen Maria Rodriguez, Early Childhood Education Career.
Marcia Mertil, Liberal Arts.
Daniela Balderas, Early Childhood Education Career.
Rita Escalante Cruz, Liberal Arts.
Daisy Sandoval, Early Childhood Education.
Miguel Angel Macias de Luna, General Science.
Angelica Viviana Candido, Liberal Arts.
Paris Jordan Beauregard, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Jack Buckley Brockett, Liberal Arts.
J. Mariska Hitzo, General Science.
Henley Walters, Athletic Coaching.
Anatoly Tupakovsky, General Science.
Justice Isaac Ross, Liberal Arts.
Suzette Tulanda, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Rashad Richards, Liberal Arts.
Marie Alakan, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Marek Martin Spooner LaDuff, Communication Studies.
Michelle Olivarieta, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Edgar Fabian Vital, Business Administration.
Alessa Monserrat Ruiz Cisneros, General Science.
Jean Manuel Labath Casus, Communication Studies.
Josue Armando Hernandez, Business Administration.
Abdullah Ali Albawardi, Liberal Arts and Communication Studies.
Kevin Villalobos, General Science.
Stephanie Moreno Chavez, General Science, Liberal Arts, CSUGE.
Ernesto Aldava, Liberal Arts.
Catherine Villacorta, Liberal Arts, CSUGE.
Yuki Maki, Business Administration Professional.
Arisa Nomoto, Liberal Arts.
Mitsuki Arata, Liberal Arts.
Yatung Lee, Art.
Mercedes Gonzalez, EOPS, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Lance Zachary Kinningham, Liberal Arts, Early Childhood Education, Career.
Stephanie Leticia Amaya, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Alyssa Ayame Lugo, General Science and Liberal Arts.
Dalila Gonzalez, Liberal Arts, General Science, Communication Studies.
Vittoria Tutobello, Communication Studies.
Michael Downey, Liberal Arts.
Carlos Fuentes Bargueño, Communication Studies.
Fernando Valentino Castro, Entertainment Promotion, Marketing Promotion, and Film Studies.
Alexander Donovan Ramos, Business Administration and Economics.
Christopher Clarence Gray, Liberal Arts.
Jonathan Gonzalez, Liberal Arts.
Jessica Yeritza Mora, History, CSUGE.
Alexander Enrique Gomez Osorio, Communication Studies.
Laura Jacqueline Dominguez, Liberal Arts.
William Alberto Camanos, Business Administration.
Ruby Hernandez, Liberal Arts.
Lindsay Cardona, liberal arts.
Evan Michael Rollins, liberal arts.
Pitzar Sahakyan, general science.
Travis Raynard Nelson, kinesiology, physical education.
Asia Marie Perkins, liberal arts.
Yasmin Mendez Trujillo, kinesiology, physical education.
Renata Annette Levatman, art history and art.
Delana Essie Ignan, early childhood education.
Nancy June Sir, liberal arts.
Luz Luis, early childhood education career, early childhood intervention assistant.
Catherine Alexandra Camero, general science.
Lauren Annette Schultz Henderson, business.
Juliana Vanessa Altistia Velasco, fashion merchandising.
Jennifer Marie Estevez, liberal arts.
Kaylin Nariko Fukuhara, general science.
Adriana Marie Serra, early childhood education.
Madison McGarry, photography.
Javier Hector Tobar, political science.
Jasmine Jude Salas, art.
Rohit Kumar Khatri, film study.
Janice Pearl Williams, Nanice Pearl Williams, liberal arts.
Flor Karina Canales, liberal arts.
Maikisha Mays, liberal arts.
Yesenia Vargas, liberal arts.
Janelli Rochest, business administration.
Erica Guadalupe Dominguez, liberal arts.
Alexis Amira Hill, liberal arts.
Samaya Marie Redmond, liberal arts.
Nastasia White, kinesiology, physical education, and public policy.
Andrea Vasquez Padilla, communication study.
Myra Jovic, general science.
Lisa Olai Bahoun, film study.
Angelica Borg, athletic coaching.
Ignat Berbecci, digital media.
Brenda Meza, liberal arts.
Michael P. Malloy, history, liberal arts.
Alma Delia Lopez, communication studies. Lisa!
Cha Hao Peng, general science, liberal arts, business administration.
Thank you. Jennifer Elizabeth Arana, liberal arts.
Elder Gazazov, liberal arts, history.
Maite Kuzapa, liberal arts.
Melanie Sonoka Roberts, general science.
Charmaine Keith Miranda, general science.
Christy S. Darty, general science.
Erica Yosabeth Martinez, liberal arts.
Michelle Jennifer Crosby, general science.
Rebecca J. Diaz Perez, liberal arts.
Karina Amanda Reyes, liberal arts.
Kelsian Felicia Kidd, general science.
Maria Andrade, communication studies.
Tamar Machmali, graphic design.
Jeffrey Harjo, solar photovoltaic installation.
Ebony Alicia Thomas, liberal arts.
Jan Yakin, business administration, professional.
Heron Hernandez, business administration.
Anna Shelipin, entertainment promotion, marketing production.
Damian Carlos Rodriguez, liberal arts.
Du Sishen, liberal arts.
Lizette Noemi Ugalde, liberal arts.
Saul Alejandro Rincon, liberal arts.
Stephanie Viviana Cortez, liberal arts.
Renee Lawrence Sanders, business administration.
Jessica Pedroso, liberal arts.
Kimonta Takaria Reed, liberal arts.
Robert Justin Yakamam, general science, liberal arts.
Alexander Nicholas Lauren, business administration.
Nearly Matilda Hernandez, Business Administration.
Gustav Nils Johann Sverd, Business Administration Professional.
Erica Stephanie Beltran, Liberal Arts.
Carl Ludwig Bruno Carlson, Business Administration Professional, Accounting.
Jocelyn Rivera, Liberal Arts.
Jonas Alexander Renemark, Accounting, Business Administration.
Suzanne E. Edwards.
Dan Mika Cow, Public Policy.
Elizabeth Olate, Liberal Arts.
Carlos Alberto Puenelas Lopez, Liberal Arts, Business Administration.
Michael Albert Amos, Business Administration.
Haishao Ma, General Science, Liberal Arts, Business Administration Professional.
Paul Ozaki, History, Liberal Arts.
Vladislav Verchenko, Business Administration.
Jacqueline Ramirez, Liberal Arts.
Omar Sharif Bashir, General Science, Business Administration Professional.
Audrey Nicole Alvarez, Liberal Arts.
Benjamin Joseph Zawi, Business Administration Professional.
Fabian Valkovsky, Marketing.
Natasha Christie, General Science.
Aziz Al-Hurez, Business.
Ronnie Nissim, Liberal Arts.
Tommy Tobias Alberg, Liberal Arts.
Bar Yakir, Business Administration.
Mayan Kraus, Liberal Arts.
Andrea Camelia Carcana, Computer Science.
Patricia Guadalupe Vasquez, Political Science, Liberal Arts.
Sujung Kim, Early Childhood Education Career.
Ilona Brianna Horvath, Liberal Arts, Business Administration, Professional Accounting.
Dana Gabrielle Moore, History.
Haley Christine Minish, Liberal Arts.
Alyssa Monet Simpers, Liberal Arts, Spanish.
Mary Grace Donaldson, Early Childhood Education Career.
Alan Fernando Vasquez Lopez, Applied Music.
Bushra Gunes, Fashion Merchandising, Fashion Design.
Alexandria Nicole Thompson, Liberal Arts, Economics.
Okay. Andrew Sean Kramer, Business Management, Leadership.
Christina M. Cooper, Communication Studies.
Paula Tapia Rodriguez, Early Childhood Education Career.
Aditya Kumar Dar, Computer Programming.
Stephen Kyle Castaneda, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Luis Alberto Tarot, Business.
Sergey Belchikov, Accounting.
Natalie Salazar, Business Administration.
Sama Mikel, Early Childhood Education Career.
Maria Jose Jaime, Liberal Arts.
Olivia Catherine Dupre, Liberal Arts.
Victoria Esther Mandigo, Liberal Arts.
Ronald D. Jackson, Liberal Arts.
Aurelia Ngandu Ponsin, Theater Arts.
Brianna Nicole Seraphin, Liberal Arts.
Jasmine Chantra Smith, Dance.
Gabrielle Louise Galicia Ibarola, Liberal Arts, Public Policy.
Nora Ferrara, Theater Arts, Film Studies.
Ana Lisbeth Rodriguez, Broadcast Programming and Production.
Mohammed Mustafa Malik, Liberal Arts.
Simcha Dayan, General Science.
Melissa Pineda, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Marilyn Guadalupe Escobedo, Studio Arts, Art.
Brandon Iga Aguilar, Political Science.
Christopher Morley Jacobs II, Communication Studies.
Moises Del Real Viramontes, Liberal Arts.
Michael Dion, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Denise Elena De La Rosa, Graphic Design.
Mackenzie Christine Jennings, General Science.
Aras Adib Mahesi, General Science.
Esteban Damian Garcia, Business Administration.
Cesar Sanchez, General Science.
Davian Jamar Reed, Film Studies, Liberal Arts.
Daisy Catalina Centeno, Studio Arts.
Anurektika Deaya, General Science.
Xochitl Juaregi, Liberal Arts, Communication Studies.
Menami Shishido, Business.
Andre Hernandez, Business Administration.
Fareshte Ajdari, Music, Liberal Arts.
Nathan Gordon Lee, General Science.
Alicia Jeanette Hernandez, Liberal Arts.
Heiser Alexandra Lopez Gomez, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Martavius Lamar Holiday, Liberal Arts.
Nadia Kamkam Lamug, Political Science.
Darius Malik Brown, Liberal Arts.
Alice Boisson, Business Administration.
Alva Eleanor Glad, Sales and Promotion.
Mohammed Aziz Smiri, Business Administration.
Kira McKinley, Liberal Arts, Early Childhood Education.
Guru Darshan Kaur Ramsdell, Computer Business Applications.
Sandra Toscano, Liberal Arts.
Carla Paula Solorzano, Liberal Arts.
Inez Sophie Rosendahl, Liberal Arts.
Priscilla Carabina Paredes, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Manuel Valencia, Liberal Arts, Communication Studies.
Camille Ann Reyes, Film Production.
Adrian Estrada, Liberal Arts.
Winona Leigh Davis McCullough, Cosmetology.
Emily Jasmine Munoz, Liberal Arts.
Stephanie Lois Wittenbach, Liberal Arts.
Melissa Marie Lerma, Liberal Arts.
Julia Anna Bergstrom, Journalism.
Zachariah Harris Mall, Liberal Arts.
Sarah Maria Stocksing, Business Merchandising.
Brian Paul Schaefer, Journalism.
Angelique Stefania Nicole Balazic, Business Merchandising.
Madeline Jasmine Montano, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Anya Emily Lundqvist Winter, Liberal Arts.
Debbie Genesis Alfaro, Political Science.
Sarah Linda Elise Stenberg Kumlin, Business Merchandising.
Sonia Beatrice Hernandez, Liberal Arts, Communication Studies.
Adam Kleist Normark, Business Merchandising.
Michaela Chandler, Liberal Arts.
Maria Julia Limas, Liberal Arts, Early Childhood Education.
Mamusa Seca, Communication Studies.
David Aaron Salmaron, Liberal Arts, Film Studies.
Jamie Michelle London, Liberal Arts.
Mario Steven Kiksivics, Liberal Arts.
Rayford Brown, Recycling and Resource Management, Solar Photovoltaic Installation.
Shanae Price, Kinesiology, Physical Education, General Science.
Luis Fernando Solorzano, Business Administration.
Christina Yvette George, Liberal Arts.
Daniel Joseph De La Cruz Jr., Liberal Arts.
Cornell Leon Lewis, Liberal Arts.
Alvaro Bonerges Trejos Jr., Communication Studies.
Viridiana Lopez, Business Accounting.
Singjae Oak, Liberal Arts.
Jennifer Maribel Sandoval, Ethnic Studies.
Sophia Jane Greco, Liberal Arts, Art History.
Milas Fundiara, Communication Studies.
Janessa Raquel Perugini, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Katrina Marie Magarin, Business Administration.
Diderot Alam Tamim, General Science.
Claudia Balderas, Theater Arts, Liberal Arts.
Zainabou Diop, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Shantae Welch, Liberal Arts, Communication Studies.
Tatiana Girma Mengitsu, General Science.
Ashe Shua Shakir, Liberal Arts.
Shanique Shirley Ann Koch, General Science.
Luis Alfonso Sica, Business Administration.
Albert Michael Bustamante II, Global Studies.
Michael
Ruada
Tuan
Juri-
Arson, General Science.
Ruada Jareen Gadi, Business Administration.
Edric Lambert Manalong Jr., Business Administration.
Charina Longania, General Science.
Patricia Sofia Haro Lopez, General Science.
Lorena Villegas, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Maria T. Brito, Early Childhood Education, Career.
Puade Metena Sakun, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Nalani Marissa Rowe, Website Software Specialist.
Cheyenne Marie White, Communication Studies.
Maria de Jesus Lopez Zamudio, Liberal Arts.
Julia Marie Parducci, Communication Studies.
Monica Padua, Communication Studies.
Anna Olivia Eifer, Early Childhood Education.
Brandon Alfredo Emba, Business Administration.
Sean Sharon Ryan, Kinesiology, Physical Education.
Sarah Albocari, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Gabriela Victorio, Early Childhood Education Career.
Carlos Alberto Santiago Garcia, General Science.
Shirley Rochelle Tobar, Business Administration.
Angel Chavez, General Science.
Nalani Santiago Kalmanson, Geography.
Candace Narvis, Liberal Arts, General Science.
O'Shea Chilton, Technical Theater.
Rosa Amalia Rodriguez, General Science.
David Joseph Berry, Liberal Arts.
Michelle Carrion, Kinesiology, Physical Education.
Elvia Medina, Communication Studies, Liberal Arts.
Matthew Evan Linsky, Political Science.
Emmanuel Perez, Communication Studies, Liberal Arts.
Michael Hu Nguyen, Animation.
Victoria Rachel Polakov, Communication Studies.
Layla Moyes, Film Studies.
Zolbu Batbatar, Liberal Arts.
Shalbrina Teresa Payne, Liberal Arts.
Nadia A.D. Yosef, Graphic Design.
Kevin Picard, Liberal Arts.
Susan Slater Linville, Graphic Design.
Hoffman El Army, Entertainment, Promotion, Marketing, Production.
Corina Hoshi Perez, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Lulu Zhang, Business Administration, Professional.
Matthew Brian Deich, Liberal Arts.
John Regan, Liberal Arts.
Annie Elizabeth Ryan, Liberal Arts.
Bradley J. Perkins, Business Administration.
Ron Ryan Noy, Liberal Arts.
Jeremiah William Clifford, General Science, Liberal Arts.
Heidi Sophie Brevek, Solar Photovoltaic Installation.
Caitlin De La Rosa Aceves, Liberal Arts.
Erica Beatrice Santos, Liberal Arts.
Wahyun So, General Science.
Jacqueline Lisette Cabrera, Liberal Arts.
Sintong Bao, Accounting.
Maricela Ayala, Interior Architectural Design.
Brandon Heiklin, Business Administration Professional.
Yukara Buchanan, Business Administration.
Eileen Casares, Liberal Arts.
Diana Flores, Business Management Leadership.
Aida Perez, Kinesiology, Physical Education, General Science.
Tom Adrianas Verhagen, Theater Arts.
Leonardo Perez, General Science.
Jacob Ernesto Gonzalez, Liberal Arts.
Carlos Alfredo Eduardo, Technical Theater.
Preston Denard Henry, General Science.
Lehman K. Mosley, Graphic Design.
Fungia Rhythm Telmon, Accounting, Business Administration.
Piezan, Web Programmer.
Reina Gabriela Amaya, Liberal Arts.
Karina Alvarado Hernandez, Liberal Arts.
Cesar Alberto Gameros, Liberal Arts, History.
Lucero Guadalupe Ricardo, Liberal Arts.
Jennifer Westling, Liberal Arts.
Edward Neary Reyna, Liberal Arts.
Caroline Holly Marriott, Journalism.
Malik Emmanuel Long, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Andrea Favaro, Business Administration.
Adrian Sal Ayala, Liberal Arts.
Itzqua Martin Padilla, Mathematics.
Jocelyn Gonzalez, Liberal Arts, General Science.
Catherine Michelle Perez, Business Administration.
Emily Rose Cole, Public Policy.
Evelyn Araceli Villata, Liberal Arts.
Jocelyn Helen Rodriguez, Liberal Arts.
Murvet Yilmaz, Business Administration, Liberal Arts.
Eduardo Rodriguez Jr., Business Administration.
Marvin Limas, Kinesiology, Physical Education.
Matthew R. Seifert, Liberal Arts.
Samantha Canseco, Liberal Arts.
Mohan Vijayadasa, Computer Programming.
Stephanie Vargas, Liberal Arts.
Frank Alexander Martinez, Film Studies.
Ashley Nicole Renteria, Communication Studies, Liberal Arts.
Raul Oviedo, General Science.
Sonia Ekri, Liberal Arts.
Jeru Sun, Liberal Arts.
Stephanie Morales, Business Administration.
Max Valentine, Website Software Specialist.
Maria Aquiere, Communication Studies.
Emma Elizabeth Lang, Business Management Leadership.
Tandue L. Hodge, Liberal Arts.
Karen Marie Susana Kaninkanta, Sales and Promotion.
Anjali Jana, Computer Business Applications.
Barbara Langlois de Estanto, Liberal Arts, Communication Studies.
Philip Anthony Castro, Liberal Arts.
Casey Armando Stevens, General Science.
Reina Elizabeth Contreras, General Science.
Zoe Rosemary Snedeker Short, Liberal Arts.
Anthony Augustin, Business Administration.
Joseph Kifletsky, Communication Studies.
Jordan Preston Stelly, Liberal Arts.
Tanak Werapatanaku, Business Administration.
Yayan Oliver Rendon, Communication Studies.
Tatiana Simpson, Business Administration.
Sarai Salvador, Communication Studies.
Richard Lee Jacobson, Animation.
Mario Alexander Montel Licona, General Science.
Nicholas James Smiley, Liberal Arts.
Janet Helene Medical Coding and Billing Specialist, Public Policy.
Richard Harbor III, liberal arts.
Leslie Yosebeth Mendoza, Liberal Arts.
Lamar Moody Jr., liberal arts.
Nanami Shiratake, Entertainment Promotion, Marketing, Production.
Hatim Saleh Hamed Suwedic, business administration.
Aoba Nakayama, Liberal Arts.
Abraik Said Guma, business administration.
Robert Sheridan Cushing III, Entertainment Promotion, Marketing, Production.
Aladdin Khalifa, business administration.
Lafrida Crespin, Liberal Arts.
Jayali, general science, liberal arts.
Jason Unger, Business Administration.
Jingyi Cha, technical theater.
Timothy Tin, Broadcast, Programming, and Production.
Siming Wang, theater arts.
Christopher Apolinar, Business Administration.
Chia Yu Tsai, communication studies.
Kaveen Hontonji, Business Administration.
Kang Si Yang, liberal arts.
Anna Lopukova, Interior Architectural Design.
Hatsune Shiosaka, communication studies.
Govana Goikoche, Interior Architectural Design.
Amy Inaba, business administration professional.
Noor Abu Salam, Interior Architectural Design.
Marisol A. Santos Chavez, business administration.
Kathleen May Laksamana Dominguez, Interior Architectural Design, General Science.
Natalie Sohey Enriquez, business administration.
Yusuf Haroon Asidik Sahunde, Interior Architectural Design.
Andrea Camille Roldan Wasawas, liberal arts, general science.
Federico Azili, Interior Architectural Design.
One time. Uriel Jimenez, graphic design, web developer.
Nathaniel Moshe Sagi, Film Production.
Kara Ann Swinson, film studies.
Allison Nicole Stanley, Film Studies.
Lacey Lee Corrigan, business administration.
Suzette Najive Martinez, Film Production.
Ana Marie Tellez, art history and communication studies.
Margaret Jacob, Liberal Arts, Theater Arts.
Sandy Lulu Huaman, general science.
Paul Anine Jr., Liberal Arts.
Anthony Rosas, communication studies.
Michael Macias, Business Administration.
Sihan Wu, general science.
Lily Och Rodriguez, Political Science, Liberal Arts, Public Policy.
Callan Huang, liberal arts.
Jessica Mota, Public Policy, Political Science.
Mong Chi Chen, business administration professional.
Birsan Donor, General Science.
Yochu Young, business administration professional.
Nathaniel Padre, Liberal Arts.
Tomoka Dohi, theater arts.
Josefa Ventura, General Science.
Leslie Fabiola Araujo, geography, liberal arts, environmental studies.
Leslie Flores, General Science.
Alfred Sevilla Angeles, business administration, logistics.
Amagan Labibe. Vanessa Emily Brown, General Science.
Jordan Christopher Wright, liberal arts.
Giovanni Manuel Romero, liberal arts.
Raphael Dan Sussman, kinesiology, physical education, general science.
Thanks, family.
Rawan Kipshabayas, liberal arts, political science.
Ileana Ruth Hernandez, general science.
Alex Sicardi, business administration professional.
Ron Nee, mathematics, general science.
Juan Sorto Jr., liberal arts.
Osro Kent Hepworth, business administration.
Luis Giovanni Fernandez, liberal arts.
Amanon Johnson, business management and leadership, entrepreneurship.
Daisy Sanchez, liberal arts.
William Chen, recycling and resource management, kinesiology, physical education. Is that it? Albert LaPera, liberal arts. Ida Martinez, early childhood education, career. Jane Fumiko Miyamura, office assistant, legal. Dasha Sidenko, general science, liberal arts.
Graduates, please rise. Members of the Santa Monica College graduating class of 2017, upon recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the associate degree or certificate of achievement. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, the Santa Monica graduating class of 2017 has graduated. Congratulations, graduates. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight's event. This concludes our commencement. After the recessional, please join us at the SMC Alumni Reception for refreshments in the quad. Thank you and good night.
It's time to come together. It's up to
celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate.